taking place against the black community currently right now. It is going down. 9 black lives dead in South Carolina by a white racist coward that sat there for an hour before murdering these innocent people. For an hour, he sat there and celebrated and prayed, and then, with all intent to make a statement, he murdered those 9 black lives. We have this slogan, Black Lives Matter. I ask you, do Black Lives Matter? Are we even valued right now? Some of the things I'm going to say aren't going to be really, honestly, appreciated by some black folks. Some of the things I say, some black folks will basically be, you're right on time and you're right on point with it. At the end of the day, I know one thing that we all have to get on the page with and understand. There is a war against the black community. And this war has been going on for centuries. I mean, it's not like it's anything new, but I think in the times that we're in, because so many people believe that we are equal, that is equality, and things have gotten better. Well, if you look at it, our present is really our past, because we never fixed what was happening in the past to create a better present. Now, when we talk about this young man, there's certain things that kind of come out. One, it happened in South Carolina. This is the same place that Walter Scott was murdered by police. When we sit there and we see the current events that are going on in the black community, and why I say there's a war going on against the black community, well, let's look at it just on the facts of a year. We're not even into close to finishing the year, but let's just look at it into a year right now, currently in 2015, where you have now individuals assimilating who we are, taking our identity, and basically saying that they identify as being black. A white woman, young Rachel. We're not going to talk too much about her, but I have to touch on that. And when I say there's a war, because the disrespect that she has been thrown out there as if she was a woman of color, and disrespecting the real women of color and their struggles, and saying that this is what she identifies with, but not telling the truth. When posed the question, she did not even deny it. She just walked away. You know, are your parents white? Are you African American? She walks away. So she posed to be black for how many years? I think 10 plus years, but everyone's giving her a pass. So right then and there, you see her white privilege. If you want to be white helping blacks, it's no problem. But that's one attack. You look at the constant police brutality and police murder. Nothing has changed with our marches, our protests. Nothing has been done. Why? Because no police officer, for the most part, has been held accountable. To this day, you still have incident after incident after incident, and it doesn't matter how much we yell, how much we scream, how much we burn and tear up shit. They are still doing what the henchmen do, murdering our people. Then when you look at it as far as our women, black women are disappearing left and right. Like, where are these women going? Just recently, a 2-year-old girl was found in the woods. Like, how does that happen? Then we want to go back into the hanging. Yes, black males found hanging from a tree in Mississippi. Are we back in the 1950s now? Like, are we here again? Because everything that's being said right now, the current stages of where we are right now, sounds and looks just like the past. You have the lynching. You have the cops doing whatever they want to do, murdering. You have the brothers and sisters missing. You have brothers coming up hung from a tree. And then you have people who see these things, the white racist people that see these things, that now follow the lead. Now, when you ask the questions about the gun control laws and people want to push it off into it being an individual problem, not a systematic problem. I say, and I beg to differ, because what this young white male saw was he saw no accountability. So what did he learn? He learned that, wait, I can take care and kill a black life, and it's really not going to matter. Because this same place, South Carolina, where the murder went down inside this church, is the same place that Walter Scott got murdered and killed. And if it wasn't for the video, remember this, if it wasn't for the video that showed this crooked cop throwing down a taser that he said Walter Scott grabbed, we would have another case of another cop getting away. So when I say the war on the black community is raging on, all these incidents, and on top of these incidents, the constant rhetoric from individuals, whether it's the white boy on the Oklahoma bus chanting the N-word, or other prominent figures speaking so negatively about the black experience, about the black community, these are all attacks. And we as Africans, we as black people, we're too passive. We're not aggressive enough. We are submitting to the masters. I say no more. A lot of people want to sit there and say, when we talk about arming ourselves or an eye for an eye, people want to say that we're saying kill all white people. Is that a solution? I'm not saying that. But how much more do we have to see? How many more brothers and sisters or elders do we have to lose until we start figuring out it's us against them? Am I shouting out and saying all white people? You can take it how you want to take it. But what I've been screaming out for the most part is white supremacy needs to be taken down. That creates racism. And if the police aren't being held accountable, how do we expect this law, this justice system, to hold people accountable? The one thing that's frustrating about this whole murder in South Carolina is it's not being called what it is, a terrorist attack on the black community. Why are we using all these different words besides terror? This is domestic terror. When the Boston bombings happened, the first thing the news put out there, it was a terrorist attack. So what was 9 people murdered in South Carolina in the church? The same church that most of you go to every Sunday during Bible study and feel if there's no place you can be safe, in this church you can be safe. And now, with all your prayers, all your Jesus save us, Jesus is coming, I have to ask my churchgoers, where do we go from here? I am not advocating violence. I am not. But I am advocating defending ourselves. I am advocating standing up against white supremacy. We can no longer sit back and just think that now it's an isolated issue because these people weren't thugs, as the media likes to portray. These people weren't in a bad area, like the media likes to portray. These people weren't doing anything but doing something that most of us believe will save us and bring us to the promised land. They were praying. They were being peaceful. They let this young white male in without any question. And because they didn't question, because they didn't give it a thought, they got murdered. And when I heard that one of the family members said, I forgive you, I applaud that. But you cannot forget what we're dealing with. You can forgive, but you cannot forget what you're dealing with. You're dealing with individuals, groups of people that want to see the black population annihilated, destroyed, gone. They have all intentions to destroy us. If nobody understands that, if nobody sees the level of attack that's going on right now currently against the black community, you are blind, you are stupid, you are foolish. Until you become a victim, you will now understand where I'm coming from, where many of my people are understanding and seeing. This is just bigger than the South Carolina situation. All this is stirring up is something that I said one day when I was being interviewed by the news in a local Sacramento area, was there's going to be a race war. There's been no accountability for the police officers that have been lynching our people. So what do you think those racist hate groups are going to start doing? They're going to get into the ball game and say, hey, it's kill black people season. We can get away with it. And then if you go ahead and sit there and have me believe that this guy, this man who sat there and killed 9 of my people is going to be tried for a terrorist attack, we know that's not going to happen. But we're going to figure out and see how this justice system plays, because they might just say it's a mental health issue. And it's always a mental health issue. I've watched and read some headlines, and I go from one headline when they was talking about Mike Brown. He was involved in a culture full of gang banging, rap music, and drug dealing and smoking, and to the young white boy to, well, he was a innocent, soft-spoken young man. Give me a break. When will you guys realize what it is? Does white privilege fall into every category? And for the blacks that want to sit there and try to defend it, please understand, defending what has been over us for centuries is basically spitting at your ancestors. And I know that you won't agree with that, but all those ancestors that I understand are looking and staring at us right now and saying, this is not what's supposed to happen, and we're not supposed to be backing down. We're supposed to be fighting back. Understand right now what's going on. It's an attack on our community. Those people that died are my family. They're your family. Those people that died deserve justice. And if we're going to focus on forgiveness for a murderer, and if we're going to focus on what was Mr. Roof's life before and what made him do it, well, what made him do it is the surrounding area, the racist American society we live in. What made him do it is we, the people, have not been protected by the government. We, the people, us Africans, have not been treated like humans. We've been treated like animals. When there's no accountability, learned behavior happens when individuals feel now they can do the same exact thing that the henchmen are doing. And when no public official from any government in America speaks on it and says what it really is, why would they care not to kill more blacks? We can't just keep extending our hand and hugging and loving this racism. We can't keep on just thinking that saying we forgive you and praying about it and moving on to the next thing and to the next thing and forgetting about what is happening currently, that racism is going to disappear, that white supremacy was just going to calm down. It's not going to calm down. We got to stand up. We got to fight back. We got to realize that it's us. It's us that's being killed. It's us that's being brutalized. It's us that they want to take out. We are the black community. We have been dealing with the same abuse, the same issues for centuries. No one has ever had to go through the stuff that we've gone through. I mean, damn it. They figured out another way to enslave us by incarcerating us. And now they're doing everything in their power to annihilate us, to finish it off. You have not clearly addressed the biggest elephant in the room, racism in America, controlled by white supremacy. We're not talking about it, so because we're not talking about it, here are the end results. So what's next? I mean, what's next? We have a young black girl being brutalized by police. What's next? Will it be another 2-year-old girl found dead in the woods? What's next? Will it be another young black unarmed male being murdered for just being black? What's next? Are they going to go into a local black restaurant and drop bombs? What is going to be next? And what is going to be necessary for other individuals in my community, the black community. I speak to you to wake up and begin to fight with the power that we have that we rarely use. Being passive and submitting is not going to do anything. The future will no longer be what it's going to be if we continually say, we shall overcome. So, Common, showing love and hugging racism, how's that working for us?